Some reflections show more than they should. Tonight's story isn't about monsters or haunted houses. It's about something much closer, the quiet horror of seeing a version of yourself you were never meant to meet. We all wonder who we'll become, where we'll end up, what our future looks like. But what if you could see it? What if there was an app that didn't just predict your future, it decided it? This is the confession of someone who found that app. And if what they're saying is true, then somewhere out there, a version of them is still watching. Get comfortable, turn off the lights, because this is Mirror Me. You're listening to NightLore, where the stories sound real. Because maybe they are. The cafeteria was alive with noise, laughter, trays, clattering, the endless chatter of kids who seemed to know exactly who they were. I sat alone pretending to scroll through my phone. I told myself I preferred it that way, that I was just too focused on my own goals, too mature for all the meaningless drama around me. The truth was simpler. No one really noticed me. I wasn't unpopular, just background noise. My world was code simulation games and internet forums. Not exactly the kind of stuff that earns you a seat at any high school lunch table. It was during one of those lonely lunches that I overheard them, a group of girls sitting just a few tables away, their voices half drowned in laughter. They were talking about some new app that had just gone viral. It shows you yourself, one of them said, giggling. From the future. I remember the way my stomach tightened. It sounded stupid, the kind of app you download for 10 minutes, laugh about, and forget. But there was something about her voice, the excitement, the idea of it. An app that could show your future self. For someone like me, stuck in a present, I hated it felt like a lifeline. That night I found the app easily. It was called Mirror Me. The icon was simple, a silver mirror with an infinity symbol etched across it. The description claimed it could use predictive imaging to generate a photo of your future self, updated in real time. The reviews were unreal, people saying it changed their lives, that it showed them who they were meant to be. 5 stars everywhere. I hesitated just for a second. Then I hit download. When it finished installing, a message popped up. Allow camera access. I tapped yes. The screen flickered once. Then the camera turned on, framing my tired teenage face. It flashed no countdown, no warning. And then the loading circle spun. When it stopped, I saw me, but older. I was standing in a sleek office, wearing a black tailored suit. There was a skyline behind me, glass towers glowing in the sunset. My face looked confident. My smile was real. For a moment, I just stared. I remember whispering, "Is that really me?" It felt like a window into a life I'd always wanted, proof that maybe someday I'd matter. That night, for the first time in years, I went to bed smiling. The next few weeks were incredible. I walked differently, shoulders back, head up. Teachers noticed. Even my parents said I seemed more alive. I joined the school's coding club. I started participating in class. Every day I checked the app to see if anything had changed. It became a ritual part of my morning routine, right between brushing my teeth and leaving for school. The reflection barely changed, but that didn't matter. It was me. A better version of me, confident, successful, in control. The app gave me direction. Every choice I made with that image in mind. It wasn't just showing my future. It was shaping it. I started to believe that maybe the app was right. Maybe I was finally on the path I was meant to take. It started with something small. One morning, when I opened the app, I noticed a faint bruise on my future self's arm, just below the wrist. I didn't think much of it. Maybe the algorithm added realism, I told myself. But the next day, it was still there, and darker. A few days later, another mark appeared, a thin red scratch across my cheek. I didn't have one in real life. Then, during a late-night coding session at the club, I sliced my hand on a sharp piece of metal. It wasn't deep, just a sting and a bit of blood. That night, when I opened the app, I froze. The cut was there, exactly the same spot. I stared at the screen, my heart pounding. The app's loading icon spun again, and for a split second, the image changed. The background, that beautiful skyline, flickered into darkness. Just a reflection of my room, lit by the phone's glow. Then it went back to normal. I told myself I imagined it. But I didn't open the app again for 2 days. 2 days turned into 2 hours. Then 1 hour. Then every 10 minutes. I couldn't stop checking. Every time there was something new, a bruise, a shadow under the eyes, a subtle slouch. Each update made me feel closer to whatever that version of me was becoming. I started losing sleep. Every time my phone buzzed, I jumped. Sometimes, I swore I heard the camera click on by itself. My friends invited me out, I declined. My mom knocked on my door. I said I was studying. I wasn't. I was watching myself decay through a screen. The app wasn't predicting anymore. It was reflecting something real, something I couldn't escape. Once I saw something behind my future self, a shadow blurry, standing just outside the frame. I blinked and it was gone. But after that, I started feeling watched. Even when my phone was off, I could feel its presence humming faintly on my desk, like it was breathing. I told myself I could fix it if I understood it, so I dug into the app's data. But the code didn't make sense. It wasn't in any language I recognized. The app's developer page was blank. No website, no contact, just a single line under version info future under maintenance. I stopped going to school for a week. I told my parents I was sick. They believed me, or maybe they just stopped asking. All I did was stare at that screen, trying to make sense of it. The image of me, my future self, looked worse every day. The office behind him was gone, replaced by a dimly lit room full of old computer parts and flickering monitors. As my face looked hollow pale, there were dark circles under the eyes, and something about the mouth looked wrong. I couldn't take it anymore. I uninstalled the app. The next morning it was back, right where it had been. I deleted it again. Same result. So I threw my phone away. I bought a new one. That night, when I turned it on, there was only one notification waiting. From an app that wasn't supposed to exist. Welcome back. Update complete. When I opened it, the screen showed me sitting exactly where I was, in my room phone in hand, staring into the camera. Behind me, through the reflection of my monitor, I saw movement. A figure, standing in the dark. I spun around. Nothing. But when I looked back at the screen, my reflection was smiling. I wasn't. That was the moment I broke. I factory reset the phone, smashed it, and deleted every trace of mirror me I could find. For a while, I felt free. But that night, I dreamed of the man in the reflection, staring at me through the glass. Life got better for a while, or at least it felt that way. I rejoined my friends, went back to school, tried to move on. I told myself it had just been stress, a breakdown, nothing more. But part of me missed it. The app had given me purpose, direction, a glimpse of something I thought I could control. One night, out of nostalgia or stupidity, I searched for it again. It wasn't there. No results. I laughed. Maybe I really was cured. I started writing again. I started coding for fun. I was rebuilding my life. And for the first time, I felt human. A few weeks later, I left a review on the old App Store page just to close the chapter. 5 stars. Helped me appreciate the present. I thought that was the end. And to my phone buzz that night, a single notification appeared with no icon. Your future has been updated. My hands trembled as I looked up from the screen. Across the room, in the black glass of my computer monitor, someone was standing behind me, smiling. If you made it to the end, thank you for listening. Remember, some reflections aren't meant to be understood. If you ever find an app called Mirror Me, don't download it. Don't even search for it. Because once it sees you, it doesn't stop. The future isn't waiting to be discovered. It's waiting to replace you. This has been NightLore, where every story hides a truth you wish you didn't hear. Sleep well, if your reflection lets you.